Rumble, rumble, rumble.
Yes, that is the sound of my garage door being opened beneath my feet.
It sounds so ominous. It proper sounded as if a rumble was happening.
That's what it is.
Ominous. It's a case of the garage door's being opened. The entire room shakes.
Well, it doesn't shake. That happens when. Well, it doesn't even have when train comes. Just parts of things shake. Also, a reminder after last session, I know Gryph wasn't around for it, it wasn't mentioned in chat. The players received a full heal up and 2 incremental advances.
Yeah.
Goger was
Such
sad.
power.
Goger was sad because he ran out of things except for magic items to use as incremental advances on. And,
Luxury.
if that happens, the book says tough titty.
I can imagine it does.
Oh, you're so awesome that you can't have anything but extra magic items. Well,
Suck it.
your friends can be happy.
Good for you, jackass.
So now I have a new tactic, guys. So if you get stuck in that sort of thing again, I can now grant a D3 of you an extra free move action to try to get out of being strangled by shadow hands.
That means I can have 1, 2.
Here we go with move action, man.
Well, Sheep, you could have 5, right, in a total turn. But you still got strangled and almost killed by shadow hands.
As a matter of fact, you would
You
have
have
been
a
killed
plus
had
crazy
Prince
high
Zarza
to-
not spared you.
You have
That
crazy
was
high
me.
bonuses to disengage, and that's all you had to do.
That was just me being absolutely stupid. That's just I don't have any excuse for that.
Well, there was that, and also the fact that Sheep missed the fact that last gas saves after the first turn will turn him helpless.
Yeah.
It's
I was like,
basically-
oh, you only got 1 action. That's fine. And then it wasn't fine.
No.
Okay. Well, as noted, I'll say this for Gryph and for Dark. Goger noted in the group chat that he will probably be late. There is no ETA, so I guess it's whenevs. With that in mind, we will get started. There was something that I did want to say at the start while everyone was awake, but I'll wait until Goger's here before I have that conversation. It's a meta conversation. With that in mind, we'll roll into session 44. Last time, which was 2 weeks ago, you folks confronted the Lich Prince Zarza. Fought him and 2 of his minions that he literally just grabbed and vroom, teleported straight to you. And you defeated the Lich Prince. Aurelia nearly died. She was basically spared because the Lich Prince commanded it. Geráck, quite a number of you were close to death. But ultimately, except for Tempus. Tempus wasn't close to death at all. Tempus never even got hit, I don't think.
Nope, Tempest didn't get hit at all.
Yeah,
The one time he did, he forced a reroll.
Yes, the Evolved Ghast, of course, rolled so many ones that he fell out a window and has not returned. Victor the Spectre did, along with, naturally, Lich Prince Zarza. Along the way, Tempus Malleator stole the knowledge of something from Prince Zarza, and it sent Tempus into a rage of sorts. Afterwards, the group absconded from the Daemane with the Orb of Storms, while wraiths and specters and all manners of other spooks went pursuing after the crows, but could not catch. That was the end of that also. Remember that your level is 8 right now, Gryph.
I'm sorry, I was just fixing the macro because I've took the epic feat in Bleeding Strike, which means I can actually still use it on an enemy that's taking ongoing damage.
Okay.
It should
Just
also be
spam it
5
now.
times free damage. from
I'm
the
going to
deck.
edit that. I just wanted to make sure it said the epic feat at least made sense there.
Baby steps, damn it, baby steps. Yes. The crows then flew for some time. You're currently, I think it was on a small island off the coast, off the southeastern coast. You're in the Midland Sea. The crows have slowed down because they're out of potions of rejuvenation, effectively, and so is the group. They stopped here for the night. They stopped the night before, when the group spoke with Leon at length, and after an intense conversation, Geráck featured heavily, the group decided to allow Leon to contact Prince Zarza. And so Leon did. And verily Prince Zarza arrived, with his spectre in tow, and the group had a meaningful conversation with the prince, in which the prince shared some details, likes of which you folks can discuss more in detail, should you so desire. The Lich Prince, of course, also offered to identify the 7 potions that, well, the 6, plus 1 that he provided, potions that Tempus had taken, and he did so by taking Tempus's cube, unfolding Tempus, taking the potions, and then handing them to the group, pointing out what each one was. I believe Aurelia took them all. And then Tempus's cube folded it back up a few minutes later. It's where the group pretty much is right now. That was at night. Possibly you've passed into the morning after. Leon is with you, as well as Aurelia, as well as Geráck's brother, Zold. We'll say that the two of them are having their own family conversation, catching up at the times, as it were.
Is the elf here as well?
Yes. The elf has certainly not been able to leave you, Thrastra. She doesn't really have a whole lot of places to go on account of the fact that it's a tiny island.
Yeah. Well, alright. She can stick to me if she desires to. Well, I suppose it's morning then. Aranas is sort of rubbing his eyes, having gotten up. I imagine we have like a campfire area where we grilled that shark.
Yes,
I
very
guess
much
there's
so.
some more like shark jerky, or smoked shark, or roast shark, or
Yes, where Geráck ventured into the Midland Sea to slay sharks and bring them up to cook.
So,
why
so I
did we
suppose
send the
Aranas
dwarf
will be
to do
chewing
that?
on some shark jerky, looking more tired than usual. Just sort of eating.
Aurelia's probably there as well at the same campfire, eating some shark as well, occasionally eyeing towards the crows that are probably doing whatever giant crows do, like eating worms or whatever.
They're,
Who knows?
they're nervously fluttering and pecking at the ground. They seem anxious to leave.
Sorry, I apologize. I will fix that.
Damn it, Tempus, stop making sounds.
It's just since I had a weird, just like someone touched me.
I see. Fascinating.
Lich Prince left his phone inside.
Leon is slumped over sideways on the hard ground. Geráck is some distance away with his brother, though the campfire and Leon are definitely within viewing distance.
Sure. Aranas imagines that he'll get up and eat when he desires to. He's a big boy, as they say.
Need to be right back.
Well, yeah, we have a whole little company here. Look at all of us.
You do?
Well, in between bites, with all of us surrounding the campfire, just eating and probably like silence or something close to it.
Yeah,
Uh,
just contemplating things.
Aurelia would say something along the lines of, I got a message last night.
Aranas looks up.
From Horizon, I believe.
Tempus
From the
will-
first Superior, in fact.
Tempus will actually lean forward at this. You notice a piece of parchment held in his hand, and he's staring at Aurelia.
Aranas frowns slightly.
To summarize, we should not return to the Wildwood. Teraptus is in Newport. He has barely escaped an attempt on his life.
Tempus holds up his piece of parchment at Aurelia. So you got the same message then?
I don't know what was sent to you, but perhaps we did get similar messages.
Huh.
What did the messages say? More so than just this.
They also said that the Archmage would very much like the Orb of Storms as a focus for his attempts at, well, I assume fighting or at least suppressing the White. The message also said that the
Or the
Druids
Lich
have
King.
been... All that, yes. The message also suggested that the Druids have been at fault for most of the things going wrong, at least relating to the wards and such.
They made mention of a certain druid started all of this. Didn't give a name, just said a certain druid.
Of course, that doesn't mean that the current High Druid would not do as she said. However, it would be foolish to return to the Wild Wood with an artifact in our possession when we know for a fact that there will be enemies waiting for us. Perhaps even who knows who.
I would disagree.
I'm with Aurelia on this one.
The druids are vastly our allies at this point, and most of them, I believe, would not want to harm us. As such, going where the concentration is high would prevent others from attacking us. If they did, they would have to deal with all the surrounding ones as well. The High Druid is of incredible power. I don't think that we would be in danger there.
Because the Wild Wood is known for its druid density, right?
At the
There's
moment,
no way
yes.
There's no way we could be caught alone. There's
What do
no
you
way
wish to do in Newport?
Check on Lord Teraptus for a start. We were charged with protecting him, which we have obviously not done. Of course, we've done something objectively more important, but that does not mean that we didn't, perhaps not fail, but not really do what we were supposed to.
And while we're on this topic, Jasmine says, finally speaking up from just eating away at her shock. It seems more messages were also sent. Equally, I received one last night. Gives a minor frown as she thinks where it's from. Essentially, part of the Emperor's, well, one of the high officials will also sent a request for the Orb of Storms. To be delivered to Horizon. Offering, well, let's see, what did it say? Reward, treasure, Newport governorship, Prince Royal marriage, deliver orb to Horizon.
She said, this all seems awfully convenient. How sure are you of your source, Aurelia? Tempus?
My source is a parchment that appeared. It does have seals and such, and I don't see why anyone would try to deceive us by making us go to Horizon and deliver the orb to those in charge.
Because in doing so, a certain Draco druid would have his point proven about everything he said, and he would win the support of the Druidic Conclave.
Did you have an individual in question who you were asked to deliver it to?
No.
That would be correct, I suppose, technically, for you.
Look to Tempus.
I had to think back on exactly what Aurelia's note said, and I suppose technically there wasn't like a delivery person noted too.
We argued to take it to the Elf Queen at one point, but the temptation of ending the invasions from the Iron Sea forever seemed too great of a price to give up for anything that we might be rewarded with. I would still hold that belief.
We should at least consider what options we have before us.
Well, in regards to the note that I received, I can't speak for Aurelia. I remember a sharp crack happening, going a bit bright, and then disappeared. And Tempus sort of rubs one of the frayed edges, and it was smoking when it arrived.
Sounds like magic to me, which would fit the sender.
Why would the mages send to both of you? I can understand one sending to Aurelia, and perhaps an Imperial officer sending to Jasmine for the same reason. At the same night, Tempus also received one from another person. Was there a signing?
More specifically in my case, Jasmine gestures up and gestures to the crown she's wearing.
Tempus will look at Aurelia. Whose was yours signed by?
Was signed by a Lord Cassidy, or rather a Superior Cassidy. The first among superiors, apparently.
By any chance,
Regardless,
Enzo?
all this talk is... Yes. All this talk is somewhat pointless. We could simply go to Newport, regardless of whether or not we decide to go to the Wild Wood in the end, and talk to Teraptus.
Without verifying these messages, that could be a trap.
Well,
after all, Jasmine's letter would ask us to go to her, or message would ask us to go to Horizon, not to Newport to deliver it.
Yes, I was told to go to Horizon and see the same superior they were mentioned.
Which suggests that, well, there are conflicting messages.
They don't seem to be conflicting to me. The orb is supposed to go to Horizon, yet we can still talk to Teraptus, who is in Newport. He is a superior too. He can tell us more about what is happening here. I see no cunning deception in play here. Simply messages by rather desperate mages.
Additionally, it does say that we can go to talk to Teraptus. It doesn't say we need to immediately drop it off. In fact, it actually says going to see Teraptus would be a better idea right now. At least he can fill us in on what's been going on. And in the grand scheme of things, that at least gives us something to aim for. I mean, Newport is on the way to the Wild Wood. Teraptus is a long-term ally that I have had, and we have had.
I'm wary of holding on to this thing for too long. It attracts a lot of attention. Breaking it sooner rather than later would be better, I should think.
Let me just say, Teraptus is hesitant to use it again. Seeing the last time he tried to activate it, it caused an interesting side effect.
Teraptus was definitely not the one who advocated attempting to fiddle with it in the first place. And,
Tempus is more meaning like his little assistants were using it.
Yeah. Like last time this shit happened.
So, I suppose we can go to Newport first. Last time we went there, the city was in very bad straits, and I don't think it's going to be better.
No, it's only gotten worse, likely.
If we could just deliver it... I hope you're not considering actually bringing this to Horizon, however. Double-crossing the High Druid. After the aid she has given us in recovering it.
Tempus just sort of lightly shrugs. In regards to what was offered here, the promise, the fact I have more affiliation with the Archmage than the Druid, I know where my loyalties lie a little bit more than trees.
I don't quite mind the current High Druid. I would, however, mind a new High Druid in the form of Ayla.
Equally, that would be preferable.
The Druids as a whole are unstable, more so than even Newport is, I believe.
We're already being delayed. This would take us further out, and Aelor is just pushing to act. It seems like you have already made up your minds, but I do not think this is the smart move. Time is of the essence, after all, and a few weeks can be a lot. Beyond that, it does seem like the Archmage is pretty desperate to have this thing. What if they do not accept our decision to deliver to the High Druid regardless?
I don't think that at least Teraptus himself could stop us, regardless of whether he is uninjured or not, should we decide to bring it to the High Druids after all.
Are you sure it will only be Teraptus there? I imagine that there are more important people in the Archmage's hierarchy who could, with the snap of their fingers, appear in any of the great cities. They likely do so simply to keep up that possibility.
Equally so, considering that my message also said go to the same people, chances are, well, the Emperor also has his own people around.
Yes.
I've never really been too trusting of druids.
And that is the reason why we need to show them the trust.
They were the ones that want to invade the world and take over more land while the world's going to hell. They're the ones that also, leading towards this evidence where I would like to discuss with Teraptus to figure out exactly what proof has been discovered that the druids are implicit in causing the start of this tragedy. And if that is the case, then surely we are giving more power to power-mad individuals. Not speaking of the High Druid in Pacific, but High Druid can't be accountable for all of her archdruids and so forth.
There is no invasion planned for the druids, except if Aelor, of course, wins, then we can imagine there would be one. What the High Druid would want, I imagine, is to end the chaos, both that which is suppressing nature and that which is enraging the Iron Sea. I don't think that's a bad thing. Dwarven mines have regrown. Human crops have grown stronger than ever. Trees and forests are great, and there have been lots of game in the woods. This benefits civilization in the end, I believe. The end of the invasions from the Iron Sea would also allow us to travel there and bring this fated sun back to relieve the great gold worm so that he might fight the Lich King and his minion. He's existed since the First Age. At least I understood that to be the plan. It seems, however, that we will go to Newport. Little as I can do to prevent it.
We do not yet have to decide what we do with the orb, but we should talk to Teraptus.
Let us just not take too long. We have already been delayed by our insufficient preparations as to the extra distance we ended up taking with the extra people we have brought.
If time is of the essence, perhaps we should simply cut breakfast a bit short then.
I suppose. I too had a message. Looks over to the drow, probably sitting by herself.
Yes, she is some distance away. She's actually looking away from the group at all of the crows, whom have, for several minutes, all gathered together in a huddle of sorts, with, like, their heads dipped in the center.
Aranas looks to them. Say, let's hope they don't decide to leave us here for our potential treachery. Maybe although they don't want to go to Newport. Regardless, I was told that we should get rid of the orb as fast as possible. The Elven Court of Stars is very much interested in it. And the longer we have it, generally the worse it will be for us. And anyone, really. It should not be brought to them. If it did, it will only reinforce the current status quo, which is lethargy and general enjoyment of the past and what it was, instead of looking at the world as is. An oracle, one of the most Eldar of the elves, remembering hundreds of years, foresaw what has happened here. So to the Dark Elf. This Drow Elf, this of the Silverfolk, carried for me a letter that was given to her upon her leaving the Queen's Wood. It was said that when these conditions, us being here now, had occurred, I was to be given this letter. It informed me that the Elven Court right now is in a great upheaval, a possibility, so to speak, where a choice of politics is about to occur. Rather, the elves should simply fold in and begin doing their traditional self-absorbed politics. Lots of squabbling and nothing being done. Or, if they were to be turned to look outwards. For that, we would need to most likely go there. And I imagine that the certain intellect devourer who ate your friend's mind is there probably for the same reason. Perhaps when we are done in the Wild Wood, we might go to the Elven Wood to hunt down this individual, whom you've been hunting for some time, and whom Leon is also here to aid us in finishing. We might also perhaps want to look into this. This oracle does have quite a lot of power, if you imagine, the ability to foresee the future insofar as all the circumstances that have made us be in this place. Right now. Right here. Finding this elf, next to her, that Aurelia only got in order to find a way to save Leon from the poison he had been stabbed with during the attack. This survivor then fly with us, knowing that we would take her, all the way here so that I could be delivered this message. That is the extent, that is the ability of this oracle's knowledge. And the message brought to us is now weeks old. And I cannot imagine if she had foreseen that we would simply do nothing about it, if it didn't have an impact on the future to come, that we would have gotten it at all. Therefore, I again state that time is of the essence. Now, I suppose we should leave.
We should, if our dear crows will still take us. They seem to be
Hours of
conspiring.
flight. We have hours of flight ahead of us. We can speak on the way. As they stand up, look to the crows, ready himself for the hours of flight, and begin walking towards them.
They are continuing in their huddle. Occasionally, like, Geráck's, like, crow will poke its head up and appear at the group and lower back down. And then, like, Tempus's crow will, like, poke its head up, look at the group, and go back down with the huddle.
Aranas will walk close. Not close enough to be within hearing distance if they were to, like, speak to one another. That'd be kind of insulting. And he'll call out...
The problem would probably be that you don't understand crow.
No, well, that's fine then. Still, it's a thing about respect. I stay far enough away from them to that they can whisper without, like, me intruding. And then he'll call out and say, we are ready to leave as soon as you are.
Aranas's crow pokes its head up, looks over at Aranas, and says, "All right, as soon as everyone gathered around, we'll
right.
take you to Newport."
To Newport. All right, sure. Let's get on the crows. Fly to Newport. Stay set. Which one was my crow? I think it was one of these ones up here.
All right, who's riding where?
I know my crow, unlike you people.
Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, it's one of these two.
Don't be shy.
Won't say that.